President Trump will speak this morning at the Conservative Political Action Conference, which he refused to attend last year during the campaign. White House chief strategist Steve Bannon, who rarely speaks in public, was the big draw at CPAC yesterday.
Bannon, a leading voice behind the president's nationalist agenda, said a new political order is being formed.
President Trump, when he was running, he made and this is the other thing that the mainstream media or opposition party never caught, is that if you want to see the Trump agenda, it's very simple. It was all in the speeches. He went around to these rallies, but those speeches had tremendous amount of content in them, right? I happen to believe, and I think many others do, he's probably the greatest public speaker in those large arenas since William Jennings Bryan. If you look at the lines of work, I kind of break it out into three verticals or three buckets. The first is kind of national security and sovereignty. The second line of work is what I refer to as economic nationalism. The third, broadly, line of work is what is deconstruction of the administrative state. If you look at the wide degree of opinions in this room, whether you're a populist, whether you're a limited government conservative, whether you're a libertarian, whether you're an economic nationalist, we have wide and sometimes divergent opinions, but I think the center core of what we believe, that we're a nation with an economy, not an economy just in some global marketplace with open borders, but we are a nation with a culture and a reason for being. And I think that's what unites us.
Bannon also repeatedly called the media the opposition party.
Major Garrett is at the White House. Major, good morning.
Good morning.
Rare to see Steve Bannon speak in public. He has often decried the media as the opposition party, but for someone who does that, he sure is good at manipulating it as well. The front page of every paper has him and Reince Priebus together, looking like the team is unified there at the White House. Is that the case?
Well, it's not always the case. There is still a good deal of rivalry between Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon and a couple of other prominent figures within the White House. Jared Kushner certainly feels a part of that rivalry. There's still a working out within the White House of what the power structure is. Is there actual a leadership pyramid beneath Reince Priebus? One of the interesting things about President Trump's approach to leadership is he likes a team that has, if you will, think of it in a corporate model, lots of executive vice presidents who are working with each other, but at times against each other, moving their agenda in their own ways, always trying to get the attention and favor of the chief executive. That process is still working itself out here in the White House, but unquestionably, when it comes to questions of economic nationalism, confrontation with the media, and being the sort of pure Trump believer, Steve Bannon fills that role and makes sure that message is delivered in each and every crucial meeting at this White House to keep that part of the Trump agenda not only alive, but decisive as this administration moves forward.
Major, the New York Times reports that Steve Bannon was essentially not welcome at CPAC when he was head of Breitbart. And yesterday he was, of course, the center of attention there. What's changed exactly?
Well, it's part of the metamorphosis of the modern conservative movement. Steve Bannon and these economic nationalists and populists were regarded for many years by establishment conservatives as kind of an intellectual oddity and a political force that they did not have to reckon with. They were on the margins, on the fringes of conservative conversation, thought, and politics. Donald Trump brought them dead center. And now what's interesting to watch is how the Republican Party, or if the Republican Party will in the future reflect Donald Trump's approach to politics and this nationalist, populist core message, or get back to what it had been before the Trump era. That's what policy, politics, and Trump himself will decide over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and President Trump wasn't welcome at that conference last time either. Today he's walking out to cheers. What do you expect to hear from him today when he addresses the group?
A preview of the next big event for this White House, Tuesday's speech before a joint session of Congress laying out the economic agenda and priorities for his administration. I think today at CPAC, it's going to be a warm-up act for that big Tuesday speech and trying out some lines to a very friendly and supportive audience in anticipation and preparation for that big primetime event next Tuesday.
Major Garrett at the White House this morning. Thanks, Major.